golden stonefly. This is one of my favorite patterns that I like to use. And there's a number of reasons that it's one of my favorite patterns. Floats well, casts well, and of course it catches fish. So, foam golden stonefly. First I'm going to start by getting my thread on the hook. Get my thread to the back, right by the bend. Snip that extra thread. The thread that I'm using is pretty strong floss, black floss. I prefer it as it's a larger fly, so it doesn't matter. I don't mind if I get a little bit of buildup on the fly. Tie in this black foam here on the back. In case you didn't see it, this is a little strip of black foam. I'm going to tie it in on the back, just like this. And I will wrap up towards the front of the fly. Now really this just helps make a little bit of a body for the fly. So once I have it on there, just kind of fasten it down. Don't really need that front part, so we're going to snip that. And I might make a few more wraps to kind of bring down this foam body a little bit. Next step is going to use a little bit of golden stone dubbing. So we'll take some of that dubbing, and that might be enough. I might need a little bit more. Now I'm going to take that dubbing and I'm going to put it on the thread. Try to get it tight. Once I have the dubbing on the thread, then we're going to bring that dubbing forward, giving it a nice thick golden body all the way up here to the front. Wrap that off a little bit. Okay, then this black foam, pull it over the top, get it tight, make sure it's nice and tight right on the top. Use a few wraps to fasten it. There we go. Looks pretty good. It's nice and tight right on the top. Now, to make the head of this fly, up here at the front, I'm going to take the foam, just kind of push it against that eyelet a little bit. When I do that, it shows where that needs to be poked. So I'm going to take my scissors, I'm just going to poke right there. Poke a little hole in it. Once I've done that, then I can run the foam right through the eye of the hook. Once I've done that, now I'm just going to tie it off like this. 4 or 5 more wraps again. Okay. This is excess foam, so snip that off as close as I can get it to the hook. So we've basically established the body of this fly. Now the next step is going to be to add in the wings. The wings will be from elk hair. So get a little patch of elk hair. And of course one of the things I like to do is, you might notice some of the fuzzy, furry stuff in there. I like to get some of that stuff out of there, because that just hinders how well that elk hair will actually fasten to the hook. So I get that fuzzy stuff and drop that out of there. Use the rest of this nice, actually a little more coarse elk hair. Okay, we're going to stack it using the hair stacker. Once you've done that, fasten it right to the hook. Now when I do that, I prefer to have my elk hair sticking maybe about 1/8 of an inch past the bend in the hook. So once I get it there, and I hold it with my left hand, and make first wrap's kind of loose, and then I'll pull, kind of tighten it down. You'll see that elk hair starting to flare out. That means I'm getting it plenty tight. Then I'll do about 5 good wraps right along the head there. Okay. I've done that. This excess up here I don't need, so I'm going to try to get that all bunched up into one clump and snip it right down as close as I can get it down to the base of the hook, where the thread is. Okay, next step. Going to use a little bit of rubber legs. And the reason I like to use white, just seems to be the preference of color that works for me on the rivers that I fish. I tie that in about 3 or 4 somewhat loose wraps, kind of sticking up here. If you notice, this is actually 2 pieces of rubber leg. And what I'll do is, once I get it tied on there, I take my scissors and poke through it. It's a little bit more difficult. And then, now I've got 4, so take each side, pull them down. Now they're on the sides of the fly. One of the things I like about using the rubber legs like this is it helps right the fly a little bit more in the water, so the fly rides the way you want it to ride in the water more often. And I also think that action from the rubber legs is something that helps it get the fish, entices them to strike a little bit more. Last step, just for a little bit of an indicator when you're fishing in darker conditions where it's harder to see the fly, I tie on a little orange topper. Of course, I don't want it that big, so once I get it tied on there, I'm going to go ahead and snip it fairly close down to the base, like that. Really, it's just a little orange top that sits there. I can see it when I'm fishing in darker conditions. Okay, that's the fly. Relatively easy, quick tie. Nice thing about it is it floats well, made of foam and elk hair. It also floats upright most often. You don't have to try to right the fly once it hits the water a lot. And it's a very durable fly. Catch a lot of fish on this fly before it falls apart. So I'm just whip finishing here. Finishing off my whip finish. There it is. The foam golden stonefly. Snip that off. Adjust this thing so that everything is sitting the way we want it to be sitting. And there is our fly. Kind of top view. Looks like that from the bottom, probably a little harder to see. There you have it.